Hey, what's going on? You're tapped in. It's another 180 Creator interview. I'm your host, Joe Teel, and I have another great guest, Caleb Nicholas. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me.
I got another tattoo artist. I love talking to the tattoo community. It's fun. I like tattoos, obviously. Yeah, man, let's get into it. So I typically ask people how they got into tattoos, but you started kind of with music. Was it music first or tattoos first?
Yeah, I was in the music industry a little bit first. I've always had a love for music, but that was like my big job before I got into tattooing. And whenever I got pregnant and knew I was having a daughter, that's when I had to switch that up because coming in with a lot of people, and plus it was kind of just too close to home and too much.
So it was a studio in your house?
Yeah.
Been there, done that. Not fun. Don't recommend it. What I say, 1 out of 10, do not recommend.
Yeah, don't recommend, especially if you have a pregnant lady at the house.
Yeah,
so.
This side of this house, I moved out here when I was 17 or 18. I can't fucking remember. And then me and my wife stayed here, and on the other side was the booth, the original booth.
Okay.
And so we had, and then I even hired somebody too. So we'd be sleeping. This is a booth right here. This used to be my bedroom. Okay. And so I would be here asleep, and they would be in there recording all night just because I was trying to make the studio work.
Yeah.
1 out of 10, do not recommend.
Yeah, do not recommend.
I mean, a part of it worked, But yeah, I completely understand.
It only works for so long,
and, bro, I've even said this on my show. When I saw my daughter the first time, I immediately knew that I was done with the studio. I mean, that's a feeling you had, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That is insane because that's one of the reasons
before
why
I even saw it, I knew that it just wouldn't work. Just unless I had something separate, or whatever, and just the time and dedication, I knew that it took to run the studio. I knew that it wasn't going to work, and it still takes that time and dedication for tattooing. But right then and there, it definitely just wasn't it.
Yeah. But
I started tattooing back again because I tattooed for the first time when I was 14, and
that's really young.
Yeah, my mom and dad have always been pretty supportive of what I did, and honestly, I was just saw it on YouTube, and I was like, I want to try that shit.
So how did you get your first tattoo gun?
My mom bought it for me.
Oh,
she bought me one of those Amazon kits, and she just made me promise not to tattoo myself, and that's literally the first thing I did.
Oh, yeah.
And it came in the mail, and I did it a tattoo on myself, and I still have that tattoo. Yeah, it's pretty small, but I pulled a couple lines. I was like, oh shit, that's doing something. And that's
crazy because not a lot of not every parent would do that.
Yeah, and my dad still is your mom's crazy for doing that, but he's happy that I'm passionate about what I do and everything.
Right, yeah.
So, but that's how I kind of got into it. I did some little tattoos on some friends and family members, little stuff, not even anything. Didn't really know what I was doing, just from watching YouTube and stuff, and only had the supplies, access to what I had in the kit and stuff. And then I just quit worrying about it. I sold it to the most artistic kid at my school at the time because I was going into high school and pretty much, and quit doing it. And then 3 years ago, somebody was like, you remember when you did tattoos in high school? And I was like, yeah, that was pretty fun. They said you should do it again. And right then and there, I was like,
so somebody else said something. And
somebody said something
to you.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Josh, because when he said that, it was I was like, dude, I'm gonna go try that. And I was like, things had changed a lot in the tattoo industry since I had fucked with shit before. So when I got back into it, I got the right stuff that I needed. And I feel since I was older, I kind of had a better grasp on what was going on too. Yeah. So I ordered all the right stuff. I did tattoo at the house for a while before I got into a shop. But when I got my machine in, my homie was like, dude, come give me a tattoo. And immediately I went over there and drew some stuff on him. Didn't even have stencil stuff, just drew it. And then I tattooed it on him. His girl was like, me next. So I tattooed her. And then it just snowball effect, dude. And it kind of picked up. And before I knew it, I was actually tattooing people. And then I tattooed out of the house for 6 months or so. And towards that end of that, people were telling me I was actually doing quality tattoos. So, and that the same quality that they were getting in the shops around, and so people were telling me to go try to work somewhere.
Did you have to go apprentice somewhere?
And I didn't, man.
So you did an apprentice.
I did an apprentice.
Now, you're the first person I've asked that? Because I've asked everyone so far.
I didn't apprentice.
Everybody's apprentice.
Somehow it worked out, but I wish I would have, because I probably would, where I'm at now, would have got there faster. Probably, you know, it would have took a little bit more time and dedication to like learn all the basics and everything. But once I got past that, I probably would have evolved a lot faster. But I didn't have to do an apprenticeship. I used to keep this little book at my house on like tattoos I did, like how much I did them for. And before I knew it, I had like pages full, and I'd made like a lot of money. So whenever when it came time for me to reach out to somebody, I saw that Kit, I think it's her, how you pronounce it is Kit Rabuzzi, but I don't know if you know her, but she works in Ashdown now. I can't remember the name of her shop exactly, but she worked at Parlor Inc. at the time. And I saw she was about to open the shop in Ashdown. I messaged her and I was like, yo, like, you need some artists? And she was like, no, it's a private studio. So she directed me to Parlor and was like, you should hit this guy up. And so that's where she worked at the time. And I hit him up. They were like, send me some photos and stuff of the work I did. And I sent him like 50 photos. Like I had too many to send. So I sent him a bunch of work, and he just told me to meet them there at like 3 that day. So like that day I pulled up, walked in. They thought I was trying to get a tattoo, like all the artists that were in there. I'm like, no, I'm here to talk to the owner. He walked in behind me and he just was like, you Caleb? And I was like, yeah, he handed me a key. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, that was it. So he was like, you're straight, man. You do your thing. And
no apprenticeship.
Yeah, you're going to go far. So
did you watch like a ton of YouTube though?
By then I wasn't like watching anything. Like I was just learning from experience and like knew what I kind of could do, you know, so I was just doing it. Right. Learning from trial and error. But here and there, I would do a lot of research.
Trial and error is crazy when you think about it. Like as far as putting something on somebody's skin forever.
It is.
Trial and error sounds
Those are the
crazy.
real ones. Shout out to them, because if it wasn't for them, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today. Right. But yeah, I worked there for a while, and then a few experiences, you know, like wasn't necessarily working out there. So when I worked there, whenever I was like so I'm like in the door now, like at Parlor, I'm like, okay, I'm in a shop, like I'm tattooing. And then like once I got in meeting other tattooers and stuff, like all I was hearing about was like Jalen Hadaway, like Jason Elliott, and like these guys that were like really cold, you know, and like hometown heroes or whatever. Yeah. So our owner was like, y'all keep talking about them and stuff, like I'm gonna get one of them down here. So he called Jalen up and he came and did a seminar at the shop. Yeah. And so he was like, tattooed a couple of them. I wasn't one of the ones that got tattooed. Like I wanted to watch. Yeah. So he came down, tattooed a couple of them. We watched all day and like got to ask questions and everything. That's when I met him. Was he already in Bossier? Yeah, he'd been there for a couple of years, I think. Yeah. But
so he came home. He came back.
Yeah, he came back
to town to show people. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. And yeah, at the end of the day, he definitely just wants to see people win. Yeah. You know, but he came down, did that, and that's when we kind of met, linked up, and I don't know, I think he kind of took an interest in me or whatever. We just became homies. Yeah. And he would kind of give me pointers through like the Facebook and shit, because I still lived in Texarkana, but when I would post stuff, like he would kind of, you know, like tell me what to do or whatever, like, and I went to my first convention like right after I got in that shop almost. I'd been there for a few months, went to my first convention. Jalen was there. It was on my birthday and I wanted to get tattooed. And that's when I got tattooed by him.
What'd you get?
And he did some crystals on my leg down here. Ah, cool. And that was when he still did a little bit of color stuff. But I was telling him about the issues I was having and like where I wanted to be and stuff. And he kind of told me about some doors that opened, and he kind of pushed me towards demographics. I contacted them, and like that's how I got in there. And then I worked there for a while, probably like almost a year. And it was cool, but it seemed like I was reaching like my wits end, like here, like there wasn't really places for me to keep climbing. Yeah. So I just wanted to be around, nothing against the people that I worked with there or whatever. There'll always be people that I started with and everything, but I wanted to reach like a new heights and like go further, learn more from like people that are way better than me and do do stuff that I've never even seen, you know. So when I worked at Dermographics, I did my first convention. I met all the Hand Forged guys and stuff in Bossier, and one day Otto contacted me and told me I was sponsored, like, because they have their own needles that they use, like in our shop, and we provide those to a lot of different artists and everything. But it's pretty cool.
Is that the owner?
Otto, yeah. Josh is his real name, but he goes by Otto.
I'd get him to come down here.
Yeah, he probably would.
Yeah,
but
I'd like to do that. That would be cool.
He hit me up, contacted me, told me that he wanted to sponsor me with their needles and stuff, and so I thought that was really awesome. And then I was like driving down there to buy them to Shreveport. You know, I was driving down there, getting them, like slowly building that relationship with them. And then before too long, I started doing guest spots over there at their shop and gaining some clients in that area or whatnot. And I had the idea that I wanted to move, you know, and it just seemed like it kept like weighing on me that was the better thing to do. And I
was it scary when you packed up and moved though?
It was, dude. It was probably one of the hardest things I've had to do. But just because I've never really moved anywhere. Like, I've lived here forever, you know, in Texarkana, but Bossier's really the only place I ever like moved off to and lived anywhere.
Was that about an hour or so away?
Yeah, it's not too far really when you think about it. But
yeah, but it's different though.
It is different, like moving your whole life, you know, over there, just up and dipping. But I don't regret it at all because I know how things probably would be if I would have stayed, but I would have never imagined how things would have been. Like, you know, I've never imagined how it'd be now, like going over there.
Like,
but
if you stayed?
Yeah, like I know how it'd be here in Texarkana if I would have stayed now, but I would have never guessed how it is now up there.
Yeah.
Without going and experiencing it, you know. But
is it just because I remember talking to Jalen, he was saying like it was a numbers thing too, like you just in front of more people, huh?
Yeah, definitely. That base has a lot to do with it too. Those military guys coming in and out of there, but it's definitely more people, and the art styles that I do, I feel like people are more open minded to. But
is there a tattoo design that you get tired of doing?
Oh. They're going to hate me for this one.
I'm sure.
Like infinities.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Like infinities.
You ever have to do the little dream catcher things? You get tired of that?
But at the end of the day, though, like I have to keep reminding myself that even though I'm so like new into the game, I can get picky with what I want to do and stuff. But I have to remind myself that at the end of the day, like I fell in love with it for the love, like not really the money.
Yeah.
Like once tattooing really picked up for me, like once I got back into it, I just grew a passion for it really hard, and it changed my life for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, those tattoos I can get tired of. But
at this point, are you kind of more pickier now? Are you turning people away if that's just not what you're feeling? Or are you taking?
I try not to, you know, turn people away. I will definitely turn someone away if like I feel like I can't give the tattoo what it deserves, you know.
Right.
So like when I do it, I want it to look like I've been doing it. But I try not to turn people away. There's some things that, you know, can't really get my heart fully into or whatever, but at the end of the day, I just have to remind myself, like, dude, like you're gonna give them something forever. So like, just
it's gonna be there forever.
Yeah, just hook them up, like, and enjoy it.
I've got some wild forevers on me.
Yeah, so do I. I've been working on getting mine lasered though.
Yeah, so a lot of man.
Because Jalen's going to redo my arms, but I got all this stuff when I was like 15 and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so tired of this stuff, but I've been getting it lasered off.
Every tattoo artist I've had on here, besides Jason, has been getting stuff took off.
They got a place close to where we're at that does it, and it's pretty available. So, and it's really not that expensive. But
don't hurt at all. Like he's saying, it hurts. Like crazy.
It's like 10 times worse than a tattoo. I use numbing cream honestly when I get it done. Yeah, and I would not be able to do it if I didn't have it. It's intense.
Let me see that if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. So you done took almost a whole sleeve off.
Yeah, I'd get my whole outer arm done every time, and it's like about 5 sessions in or something.
Woo!
But it's pretty rough. But this is what they look like. You know, like darkness wise, that's what they look like.
Yeah.
when I first
Some
started.
bad tattoos neither.
Now you can see like how light they are. So it's really not too far. But like that's Jalen's work, and we're going to continue that type of shit.
Yeah, that's clean. That's cool as fuck. I think I saw that. I didn't know that was your arm.
Yeah, he did that on me whenever I was first starting to like guest spot over there.
How long have you been tattooing in total? You may have said it through your answers, but
I've been tattooing in a shop now professionally like for 2 years, going on 3.
Okay.
But I tattooed at the house for almost a year. But
so like 3 years of really going at it.
Yeah.
But it seems like you're at a real deal shop. I see your work is very clean. I wouldn't if you showed me your portfolio, like what you've been doing like in the past couple months, and told me to guess how long you've been doing it, I don't think I would guess 3 years. I would say it looks like you've been doing it a lot longer.
A lot of people say I don't look like a 2-year tattooer, like my work doesn't.
Right.
And like that is like from trial and error, and I've had some good guidance too. Like Jalen's helped me out so much. Like, and even before I moved, like I had some homies like Jessica that would let me come and watch. Like, shout out to her because she let me sit in.
Jessica Diller.
She let me sit in on some sessions, and like I think people just knew like that I could have a chance, you know. But
how competitive is the tattoo world? And is it less than it used to be? I feel like it seemed like it used to be like way, because I used to be in shops all the time, you know.
It can be.
Used to get a lot of tattoos.
It can be. It depends on the demographic of the shop. I feel like, you know, you have different shops. Like some shops are just like, come in, get your tattoo or whatever. But some shops are full of artists that are trying to be like grinding their teeth to be the best they can be like every single day. But I feel like it can get competitive, but I like being competitive with it. Like,
competitive isn't bad.
No, like not even trying to be like just over somebody. Like it feed, you know, like we feed off of it somewhat, like, and it helps us just drive harder. There's nothing wrong with a little friendly competition.
Right.
Like, and everybody's advancing. So you got to have that little push to stay.
Have you ever ran into some unfriendly competition?
None that I've really been mixed in, maybe a little bit, but I've seen a lot for sure.
Yeah.
Like just about every show we go to, there's definitely like some politics and stuff, like people are talking shit or whatever, but I try not to get into all that because at the end of the day, it really don't matter because you're going to do your tattoos and ain't nobody going to be able to pay your bills.
Right.
So like, you know, so.
Was the business side hard to figure out? Because that's a whole other side of it, right? You know, you're an artist, you do all this great work at this, but then at the same time, you got to be like a businessman.
Yeah, it's definitely like different. I feel like nowadays, I didn't tattoo way back in the old days, but now we have to be like our own marketing, you know, and like photographers and everything. Like it's more than just doing the tattoo. So that can get difficult and overwhelming for sure. Like trying to keep up, posting on different platforms, Facebook, TikTok, like all this shit, it can get way too much, but like you have to be able to keep up with it, and you know, because there's so many people doing it and this, that, and another now that everybody and their mama tattoos.
Yeah.
So like word of mouth really ain't enough because as far as like competition, like it's out there, you know, like not necessarily like skill wise, but there's so many tattooers out there.
Yeah, there's so many shops too.
Yeah. Anybody can go anywhere and get a tattoo.
The tattoos, me and Jalen talked about this a lot. It seems like this is a time where it's more accepted than it's ever been, at least in America.
Yeah. I would agree with that, but I still feel like there's some people that are like, you know, against it or whatever, but I feel like that'll never go away. But tattoos are definitely becoming like more of like, it's very more accepted and like almost trending and shit like that.
Yeah, and jobs. Like you can get hired. Like I see more people with like crazy tattoos, like neck and face tattoos, and then they're like behind the counter now. Like it's just like shit you didn't really see as much.
Oh yeah,
like
most
your waitress
definitely.
will show up and have like a neck tat. Like it didn't used to be like that.
Yeah, I had some jobs that like I've had my hands tattooed in full sleeves. Like I don't have none on my neck, but I've got had my arms fully done since I was like 17. So I've had plenty of jobs, and they never really, you know, gave me too much trouble for it. So
yeah. I think that's an old way to think about them.
Yeah, it definitely
when I see somebody covered in like tattoos, especially if they're decent looking, it's like that's probably a responsible person because like they had to have some money at one point.
Yeah.
They had to show up to some appointments.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of good things that
it's
happen
not
there.
easy to sit there and get it done most of the time.
Yeah, you got to be tough.
Well, you got to be tough to go through it and everything. Yeah. They're earned and everything, but if you don't look at them as art, like...
Do you think people look at them less as something that's earned? Like, because I feel like back in the day, like I don't know. Maybe it was just my experience. It felt like a big deal to get a tattoo. Like you was like on some tough shit. And nowadays it's just like, oh, we got tattoos. Look how pretty it is.
I feel like, me personally, I feel like I like to go and earn my tattoos, and I like my clients to come and earn their tattoos, or at least they should feel earned. Even if it wasn't hard for them to sit through it, like they should feel earned. Yeah. But nowadays, there's so many different ways you can like go and get a tattoo. They got all these famous people using anesthesia and stuff to like put them to sleep.
Insane.
Do they hold back and everything?
Didn't Post Malone go?
He's done that. There's so many like rappers and all that's done it. But like, that takes some of the fun, like the fun out of it. Like
I would love. But I ain't gonna lie, I just don't have the means.
Yeah.
If I had the means,
it'd be cool to get
maybe
the experience.
Just knock me out. I'll wake up, but I imagine how bad it would hurt when you woke up. Like,
yeah, definitely. Like, it's probably gonna be worse than if you just got it in general because it's all hitting you at one time. Yeah. All that pain gonna come back.
Because you start. I don't know. I go through phases when I'm getting tattoos. As far as like especially a big one. At the beginning, you have the initial shock, like, okay, this is what I got to deal with, but my skin's still fresh. And so, like, you get a couple of hours in, the wiping starts to hurt. You know what I'm saying? You start rethinking things. It's like, now you have this big half unfinished thing on you, and it's like, okay, well, now I got to sit through it.
About halfway, you're over it.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I've been halfway through tattoos before, just completely just rethinking life in general. Just like, dude, what? Why?
Sometimes it's that first line, you're like, oh, man, what did I sign up for?
Yeah, in certain spots, yeah.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know. I don't even sit all that well. I have a lot of tattoos. I feel like I have a lot of tattoos. I don't sit that well. Like, it hurts. And as I get older, it hurts more.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I feel like when I was younger, I could just sit all day. But now, like, I still sit all day and get big tattoos, but it's not as easy anymore. But I still make it, but I don't sit as easy as I used to, for sure.
You ever quit a tattoo in the middle of it?
No, I ain't never quit one.
Yeah.
I ain't never quit one. I thought I came close.
One time on my ribs, I have this big giant graffiti thing that Bum did on my ribs.
Yeah.
And the time...
That's a tough spot, dude.
Yeah, no, the time was up, and we were like 4 hours into it.
Oh, man.
And he went to smoke a cigarette, and he was like, I think it's done. And like we forgot to fill in an eye. Like it was like a part of so you had the circle on the top of an eye, and it had like a little graffiti, like to where the top just had a little black in it, but the rest of it was open. I looked in the mirror and I was like, fuck, that's the last thing. It's not filled in. My shit is red. Like red. I've been sitting with my arm, my arm above my head. And, I've been there for about 4 hours. Bum smokes like a motherfucker. So we just stopped so many times. I'm in pain. I realized that it wasn't done, and he didn't see it either. I guess he didn't notice it. And I was like, no, we're good.
Oh, man, you didn't even let him do it.
I didn't even tell him. So to this day, there's an eye on my side that...
you never got it? You never got it big? That's funny. I never got to meet Bum. I've heard good stuff about him.
Yeah, Bum. Shout out to Bum for sure. He was tied up in all kind of things, he was a whole lot of other things besides a tattoo artist at times. And he's like got his shit together, and he's like on some like super positive stuff, like some spiritual positive. Oh, okay. And it's like, it's good to see that,
Cool.
Cause, I ain't gonna lie, I would be like 18, 19 getting tattoos from him, and it would be just kind of like, be just sketchy shit sometimes, and it's shit, but I used to get sketchy. I would go sketchy places to get tattoos. 18, I was 17, 18. I was fearless then. I didn't give a damn. I would be, some of this is from places this wild, you know what I mean? But he's got his stuff together. We're super positive. Like one of the best like freehanders. He can just draw something on you. No stencil.
I've heard he can do some wild freehanding and do some quick stuff too.
That's insane. Yeah, you don't strike me as a type that's like, all right, I'm just going to draw something on. Yeah.
No, I don't do a whole lot of freehanding. I do some, but most, I stay pretty prepared with everything. Like, I think all that's really cool, but that's just not me.
Yeah.
I do like to freehand some stuff, depending on like to fit the anatomy right and everything. But
yeah, there's so many things that go into tattoos, like, especially like good looking tattoos. I lack a lot of flow on mine because I just so pieced together different people.
That's kind of how I did. Just went and got them at different times, no plan.
Yeah, no plan. Yeah. And it was hard for me because I really didn't have the budget to have a plan. Like, so if you was gonna have a whole sleeve and you really wanted it to be themed a certain way, you're either about to spend thousands of dollars or you're gonna have to lock in with one artist and y'all gonna have to have the plan for multiple sittings. And I just could never.
That's the right way to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
That's definitely the right way to do it. That's why I'm getting all this taken off now because I don't want to live the rest of my life with this stuff. Like, you know, and I got the means to do it, the dedication, so I'm going to do it. But it's definitely worth it to find the right artist, you know, and pay what they're worth for sure.
And there was days I would just drive around until somebody was open.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's wild. But like, I would go get tattoos.
Trying to get tatted for real.
Yeah, and I would just go where I could get in that day.
You ever get tatted by Dre?
Yeah.
He did a lot of my stuff.
Yeah, Dre did this original deal. Dre did this whole top of my arm, like the 59, the Texas, and the smoke, and this eagle, and
that's who did some of my first tattoos, and like. Whenever I was like real young, before I was able to get a tattoo.
Shout out to Dre.
I didn't even have to get my mom or nothing. He would just tattoo me, like, you know, like the homie hookup and stuff. But
that was another one of the environments. So sometimes it would be kind of scary. Like as a white dude, you're just in there and it would just be like, oh shit, you know, it's a little sketchy.
I mean,
but you
was
probably went
cool
to where
them,
you didn't go to like the Yellow Building Illusions, did you?
Oh, over by like across from the old potato patch.
No, not that. That was the second place for.
No,
Illusions.
I never went to the first one.
The first one is like a daiquiri shop now. It's right at the beginning of State Line over there, and him and Wicked were together. And that's where I got a bunch of my like first tattoos. So I had when I was 18. By the time I was 18, I had 2 half sleeves. Basically, I had this and I had this, and that was pretty much all done there. But then Bum went over a lot of this stuff that Trey did on this arm, and then Matt did this. Matt Hendricks, shout out to Matt Hendricks. That's my boy. Then Caleb went over some of this stuff, and then I traded Caleb for my hands. Matt did my chest. Caleb did my stomach, which is this big giant skull thing.
I think I do remember him showing me that.
Yeah, that hurt bad. It was like 9 hours.
Man,
it was. I've
awful. Heard the stomach's really bad. Jalen always says he never did
down here
like
really hurts like super bad,
dude.
Like down here by my belly button. Yeah,
I've got something right here, but it's not like down low.
Yeah, there's this A. There's like this cross and this A right here on my sternum. That hurt like incredibly bad. And then I guess I had a cavity at one point, and they were hitting me here on top, doing these little cloud raid things, and I could feel it in my tooth. I was like, he was tattooing me. I was like, ah.
Dude, it's crazy how the nerves work. Yeah. Like with tattooing, because you can be getting tattooed like back here, and it feel like it's dead in the middle of your elbow, or something like that.
Yeah, the nerves is crazy.
Like you can be getting tattooed down here, shooting up the back of your neck.
I was feeling my collarbone when he was somewhere over here. I was like, what the? I was like, hell?
I've experienced that myself, so that shit's wild. Yeah,
man. So like, I don't know. I have a couple of decent tattoos. I have some bad tattoos, but I don't think I'm gonna get rid of any of these. Yeah. I may go over some of them.
You got room to get new ones, like on your legs and stuff?
Yeah, my legs is wide open, but I have a plan for them. Nice. I got a big plan, and it's going to cost a couple $1,000s. But
yeah, it's going to be worth it.
It's a big one. Shout out to Zeke, my boy Zeke. Hey, I think I'm going to let Zeke. Zeke's going to do my legs. I've talked about this on here before, but anyways, so I'm getting older. I don't give a shit no more. I like what I like. Hey, I'm about to get Goku on one side,
nice,
and Vegeta on the other side, blasting each other. And then on the back, I'm gonna have Aang from Avatar: Last Airbender, and Zuko from the other side. Okay. So, like, if you look at it from the back, they're shooting each other. You look at the front, they're shooting each other. Okay. And if you look at it just one leg at a time, it's gonna look like they're shooting each other.
That'd be dope.
And so, like, there'll be different, like around the Saiyans, it'll be like lightning and stuff, and then around Aang, it'll be like air.
Something really cool with that design.
Yeah. So. That's going to be like the whole bottom of my legs. And it's going to be like one big picture all together, but that's down the road. It's going to have to be in the winter. I get all my tattoos in the winter.
I never got to work with Zeke, but I have met him, and we're pretty cool.
That's my dog.
Yeah, he does some firework.
Zeke is cool as fuck. That's my boy. Man, the first time I saw him do a tattoo he worked with Caleb. They were tattooing at a haircut place. So we were just in the back of a haircut place.
Yeah, I think I know about that. It was like
by the mall.
Was it
Rhinestones?
Roots and Rhinestones.
Yeah. They were in the back of there, and it was him and Christian Lewis.
Yep, I work with Christian.
Yeah, that's my dog. Yep. One day he was in there tattooing his hands. was just watching him do his hands while I was getting tattooed. I thought that was wild.
Hell yeah.
Where was that thing? Oh yeah. So my buddy went to get one. I went at the same time because I said, hey, my buddy's gonna be up there. So I called Caleb. I was like, well, I want to be up there so we can get tattooed. You know what I'm saying? Just kick it at the tattoo place.
Yeah.
And so, but no, Zeke he did like this rattlesnake and this like an old cow skull. So like kind of like a desert like rattlesnake with a cow skull.
That's dope.
And it was like at the end, like I was looking at the scales and stuff, and I was like, fuck, dude, that's nice.
It was black and gray.
Yeah. It was nice. Yeah. Like it was super nice. And then it was from that point on, I was like, okay, yeah, Zeke's the real fucking deal.
I worked with Christian at
Christian's the real deal.
Yeah, Christian's dope. Shout out to Keisha. Like those are the two people I really started with.
That's the lady that does it. She's cold, ain't she? I've seen cold. A lot of her work. Yeah.
Yeah, she did this on my neck right here.
Oh yeah.
And she did me like a rose on my ankle. Christian, he did this spider right here. I'm knocking it out now, but he did that spider. And I think he did, he did a big katana down my shin with like this blue like lightning around it. And
your legs hurt?
Dope. Right there on that shin, it does.
Yeah, I'm for
because I got skinny legs, dude. It's bony. Like, so dude, it was straight just hammering my shit. But, and this is a whole thing too. Like I
gained some weight at one point and it felt like the tattoos hurt less.
Man,
I don't know if that was true or not. If that was like something in my head.
The calf they say hurts pretty bad too. I ain't got the calf, but realistically, I mean, everybody's pain tolerance is different, you know. But that got me a little bit. But the most painful tattoo I've ever gotten was like on the backside of my Achilles back here. It's like some traditional like poppies. I just recently got those, but that was pretty rough.
My wife has like almost a whole leg sleeve. And it's like, it looks painful.
Dude, the smallest thing I got is like the most painful. Like down there, that thing, it's crazy. Jalen did a huge tiger on my thigh, and that doesn't touch nowhere near that little thing. Like,
she has like this dragonfly on her foot, and she was like, yeah, that shit hurt. I believe it.
Feet are pretty tender too. I sat all day and got my foot done though. Jalen did a realism rose on my foot. That's pretty sick. But I thought I wasn't gonna make very far on that, but I did though. But my nerves were pretty bad. Like you just kind of almost a tickling feeling for me. It's pretty weird, but
yeah, I almost like at the end of this one, my stomach one, we went like 9 hours on that thing, and like by the end, I was like, fuck, I was breathing funny. I was like, dude, I tired of this. He's like, one more thing. I'm like, fuck, dude, this shit hurts. Dude. Every wipe was like excruciating.
Yeah, dude. Your body fuck around and start shaking. You go into shock or some shit. That shit's for real. You get tattoo flu, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about what's happening, it's some wild shit happening when you get a tattoo. I mean, it's a big open wound. It's pain for hours.
It's basically a procedure.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's how we treat it just about. So
I like some of my best ones have healed with like the Sanoderm stuff. Do you do something like that?
I don't send a tattoo out the door without it unless they like can't have it. Like, you know, unless they're allergic to it or something. But I use that personally and on all my clients. That stuff is awesome.
That shit's awesome.
Yeah.
That was a game changer. This one right here, this stayed so dark. And it was like I kept it on for like 6 days or whatever and peeled it off and it was healed. Like it never peeled.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, what do you mean it never peeled?
I've had that experience, dude. It tricks your skin into thinking that it's scabbed over already. So that's what speeds up like the process.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But we use that religiously. Yeah. There is a lot of like science that goes into tattoo. Sure.
Yeah. What do you think? What was the wildest thing you learned like about the process?
It's hard to say because there's so many things that are, you know, like very important, but it can be the littlest thing. But like when a client comes in and they have like a cobalt or like a shellfish allergy, like you have to know that means like they can't have red or blue ink.
Really?
Like, yeah, because they'll have a reaction to that and whatnot.
I did not know that.
But
so something from
like shellfish is red shit, you know, and like cobalt is blue, so like they can't have like blue inks or red inks and whatnot. So
I don't think I've ever put down any allergy stuff on any sheets I've ever filled out. You know, you fill out the little sheet at the beginning.
I don't have none, and I've never had any tattoos that you really don't know until like something happens, unless you have like that allergy from like food or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
But
dang, that would suck to Be getting tattooed and like
Dude,
something
what?
crazy.
What?
You ever had something wild go down like while you're tattooing somebody?
Not as in like the tattoo being like messed up or anything, but I've got a couple like wild stories about like
Experience?
experiences like with clients and whatnot.
Let me hear a story.
All right, I'll tell one. This is about like one of my close homies, so I ain't gonna say his name, but he probably wouldn't mind me telling the story anyway. But one day he hit me up to get a tattoo. He came to the shop. I'm doing a tattoo on him. It's probably like this big, and it's really just like this black symbol. It's like a Nordic symbol or whatever, and it's like right here on his arm. Like I'm doing that. And this was at my first shop, like before I was like started really gaining, because like even then, like I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. You know, there's still so much, and even now I'm still like learning so much shit. But
Right.
I didn't know a lot of stuff, and so he came out, I'm tattooing him. In the middle of the tattoo, like if you're getting tattooed and you start feeling bad, like you really need to let your artist know or whatever, or you could really like hurt yourself or like, you know, just cause the situation to be way worse than it could be. But he did this thing where he was like, "Hey man, can I like go to my truck and get my drink?" I was like, "Okay, cool." Like I like wiped him off real quick, and I was like, "Go ahead." Like threw my gloves off, and he's like walking out to the parking lot, and I just see him fucking boom fall out. And yeah, he just fell straight out. And he didn't hit his head though. The way he like fell down, it was real weird. Like he fell like cross-legged or something. Like he was trying to sit down on his ass or something, and like he like bounced right back up. It looked like he was trying to get something out of his pocket real weirdly, but he did like collapse and fall. And then he got up and like made it to his truck. I'm watching him the whole time. I'm like, what's going on?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. And then like I'm inside the shop. There's like big windows. And like he gets to his truck. He can't even like hardly get the door open. He's got like baby deer legs. They're like shaking. I'm like, yeah, something ain't right. So I go out there. And like he hopped in the truck. He didn't just grab something. He hopped in there and shut the door. So I was like, yeah, something's going on. Like he didn't take off or anything. He was just sitting there. Like it's my homie. I didn't think
trying
he
to regroup.
Yeah, he trying to recoup or something. Like I don't know. And I didn't think he was gonna try to take off or nothing like that. So I wasn't even worried about that. But I went out there. I opened the door, and bro, he was passed out like this right here, just dead out, bro. And I shook him, and I was like, hey bro. I shook him, and he like made a noise like, yeah,
I've been there.
And that shit scared me a little bit, and I was like, this ain't finna happen to me today. And like out of instinct, bro, I reached back and I just slapped this dog shit out of him.
Face. Oh.
Just slapped him.
Wake your ass up.
Swear to God, wake your ass up. Wow, as hard as I could, dude. And he woke straight up. Woke up. He's like, I'm good. And I was like, nah. I said, nah, you ain't good. I was like, do I need to call somebody? And he was like, just chill with me for a second. So we chilled, and like not even, it wasn't very long, just a second. And he was like, all right, we can go back in. I was like, you sure? And I probably should have called it, you know, but like that was my homie. I was like, bro, if you say you're good, like, well, come on then. And we finished. Yeah.
Wow.
We finished, but dude, that definitely was crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, I started getting smart with it after a while. Like I'll bring a pillow, I'll bring snacks, I bring drinks.
That's smart.
I always have crackers. I always have.
Because you never know how you can start feeling. Really, you know, like and it's good to keep those like sugars and stuff on in you and everything. But
your body's really going through it though.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's not just something like super easy. Everybody's body's gonna react a little different to it. Yeah. Especially if it's in like a wild ass spot, because you only got so much like tolerance depending on what you're getting done. You know, if you go past your limit, you can really like not necessarily hurt yourself, but you know, put yourself through some shit you really shouldn't. Like, I've had tattoo flu myself, and it's not fun.
So tattoo flu is just like getting sick after you get the tattoo?
Going into aftershock. Yeah, you can getting sick and stuff. Like say you get the tattoo and you like make it home, and then you get like cold and shivers and like just shaking and just kind of sick to the stomach and just in a daze, you know, or whatever. It just really makes you fatigued and that sort of thing.
I think I had that right here,
just
bro.
when you do too much.
I felt bad. Having trouble breathing, was cold. The whole ride home, I was just like, what why did I do this?
When you can't do nothing and the tattoos got you down, that you know, like,
too far.
Too far, yeah. And like realistically, I don't like to tattoo now that like with the little bit of experience I have in the past couple of years. I don't like to tattoo anybody over like 8 hours. You know, I've done
that's rough.
Yeah, that's a long time.
8 hours is
that's
terrible.
all day. That's a long time. Like you don't need to be tattooing somebody really longer than that. To me, like you can really, you know, whatever. But I try to not, you know, do things in a timely manner where 8 hours is I ain't finna put you through that, and I ain't trying to go through that myself. So
yeah. Would you say you're fast or slow or medium?
It's hit or miss, but I'd say right now I'm working on my speed, but I'm a little slower. But I like to take my time, but the quality's there, you know, and that's what really matters because it's there forever.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes I'll do a tattoo and I'll be like, look down and I'll be like, wow, you know. That was fast. Yeah. And then sometimes I do a tattoo and I'm like, get out of there. I'm like, Jesus, that took me way too long. But sometimes a tattoo, like before you get into it, it can be more than you think, you know, like once you get into it. But
what time is it? Yeah, we're doing good. I always ask the people that come on here, it's like, how do you think that you would do on a show like Ink Masters, like as far as like trying to fit in with the rules? Time limits and getting them judged a certain way and all that stuff?
Right now, I mean, I'm very early as an artist, so it's kind of hard to say if I would even like attempt something like that. But I feel like I could, depending on the style and the challenge, I feel like I could do a decent amount of time. Like I could fit it pretty well. Because
he was saying that because it's 6 hours, but he's saying it was more like 4.5 of actually tattooing.
Jason did?
Yeah, and he was saying that they were like, you know, like this, I think, was about the average size of tattoos on there is what he was saying.
Okay.
So, I mean,
a tattoo of this size, like a color piece for me, like I could do probably in that amount of time is what it would realistically take me. Like a hand-sized piece almost, like that would take me roughly like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
For like some color. Black and gray, honestly, I can do a little bit quicker just because I don't know why. But it doesn't take me as long to pack it all in, like pack it in there and blend it like it does the color.
Yeah, because you got the openings. You know, like a lot of the black and gray stuff is just the skin doing the work, you know.
Yeah, I definitely like when my designs, I like using negative space to my advantage, and I think it looks cool too.
Yeah, negative space is cool.
Yeah, whether it be smoke or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I got a lot of negative shit on me.
And when you're doing realism, like
right
it's going to be there.
It's like completely just the negative stuff around it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, man, like they judge them super hard. Do you think, how do you think you would handle like
getting critiqued?
Yeah, like, and he said like they cut 20, 30 minutes of your stuff getting critiqued and they just show you like 30 seconds of it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with getting critiqued, you know.
But for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that might be like, okay, dude, you know, I hear you. But like, as you know, as far as like taking critiques and stuff, like I don't mind it at all.
No.
Like really, like if you have, you know,
if you're worth
giving it to me, yeah, like
that makes sense.
If you're not, if you can't straight up, if you can't do like even the tattoos I'm doing now, like why are you trying to critique my stuff? And that goes for like anybody. If you can't do what you're doing, like anybody can have an opinion and think what looks better, but yeah, like somebody trying to critique it, like they can do it better.
Yeah, you have to at least be equals to critique. Yeah. I believe that too.
But I take critiques pretty well, and I like to give critiques too. Like at the shop, we all bounce off of each other, and that helps with the growth and stuff.
How many people work at Hand Forged?
I think we've got seven tattooers, and we have one piercer. And we're opening a second shop right now. It's going to be downtown.
Heck yeah.
That's going to be cool.
Like in Shreveport?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be in Shreveport. And it's right next to the big mural that's downtown. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
But that's going to be really soon. And we're hyped for that. That's where I'll be moving to, like from this shop over there.
So you're going to be in Shreveport?
Yeah. He's still going to have both locations, but I'm going to be at the new one.
Yeah.
It'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. I want to get him on here. I need to go through you and Jalen and see.
Yeah, I'll tell him. I
would love to talk to a tattoo owner, especially someone that's away, like doing it, you know.
He's been doing it for a few years, so he could definitely give some insight on that side of the business and whatnot.
It's like I've interviewed the MMA guys here, like the top MMA fighters. So like now I'm getting their coach to come on.
Oh, that's dope.
So it's like same type of deal there. But not that he's your coach, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just
like, to see it from a different angle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really love tattoos. I love the industry.
I never thought I was going to want to be like a tattooer, really, but
yeah. So when you were little, did you have like a dream job that wasn't this? Was it like music?
It was music, man. Yeah. It was music. I didn't really necessarily know what it was. I've always played guitar like since I was very young, but I thought it was going to be in that line. But I never got into art. Like in school, I never did art, took art classes or anything. I'm completely self-taught in that sense.
When did you know you could draw? Like,
I've always been like creative and like I could draw a little bit. I wasn't the kid that could draw you like portraits and stuff like or anything. Like I didn't really even know like how to draw or like the math behind drawing, like how to actually break it down. But whenever I got into tattooing, like I started trying to unlock that side of me and like just got into it heavy there and just doing it over and over, you know. At first, like I was like tracing tattoos and stuff, but like as I've met more tattooers, like they showed me tricks and different stuff like that and just practicing drawing all the time. Like now I'm drawing everything like from scratch and it's completely different.
You do any art outside of tattoos?
Yeah, I like to paint and like I'm into like the oddity art that they do with like skulls and like dead stuff, you know, like bugs and that type of thing. It's pretty I like that art. Stuff. Yeah. Like do you know Hunter McCarver? He's a tattooer.
I've heard his name mentioned in here, and I think he just added me.
His wife has a company like that out here, and they're pretty little dead things, I think, but they make a lot of art like that. Like it can be like say like a little dome with like a bobcat skull with like butterflies and stuff in it.
Shout out to the bobcat, Bobby, that's my boy.
But yeah, that stuff's pretty cool, and I like doing it because you can find that stuff like out in the wild or whatever and make art out of it. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty
Little Dead Things. I need to follow up on that.
Yeah, they got an Instagram.
Yeah, I want to talk to them too. Yeah. That sounds cool.
They got an Instagram.
Pretty Little Dead.
I just got into that art, but I like to paint and like do some oil stuff. And
you ever sell any of those, or is it just like a hobby?
The oddity stuff?
Like, well, not like the painting and stuff like that.
I've sold some paintings, yeah. I recently just got into like charcoal, doing charcoal drawings, and I've sold one of those pieces.
Do you think that helps you tattooing?
It definitely does, yeah. Like getting out... there's nothing wrong with like staying focused and tunnel vision like on tattooing, but those other mediums and stuff definitely help. And like branching off into them, like I can see that. Like, and you might not think it might not feel like it, but it is.
It's helping you.
Yeah, it is.
I like it, man. So people can find you at, where do they find you on social media?
They find me on social media, Caleb Nicholas on Facebook, and then on Instagram, it's created by Caleb with an underscore. My TikTok is created by Caleb as well. And then our shop, you can find our shop, Hand Forged Tattoos in Bossier. I have my profiles all on our website through there, and you can see my art through there and on my personal pages.
Hell yeah. It's 9:00. I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I normally do 2 of them on Monday and 2 of them on Tuesday. I try to do 4 of them in a week, but I get them all done Monday and Tuesday so I can be home the rest of the days. Because I got little kids and I like to be there.
Yeah.
So these are the days I sacrifice the evenings for, but I'm having fun, man. Cool. I enjoy these conversations. I learned a lot today, and that's what I'm after.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting me come on because being so new in that area and being from here, I feel like it could have helped with my exposure and stuff. And like, I don't have a huge following there, so it just could help all around.
Take this and clip it up. That's the advice I tell everybody. Some people do it, some people don't. I do these interviews. I'm like, dude, if we talk for an hour, you could get at least 15 clips off this.
Yeah.
I was thinking
different little stuff.
So, man, I appreciate you coming through for real.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I appreciate you having me.
For the channel, like, share, subscribe, do all that cool shit. Hit the bell. It'll let you know when new videos drop. I try to drop at least 2 interviews a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are the days they drop. Man, I appreciate you if you tapped in this long. We definitely, we got more cool stuff coming, man. So y'all go tap into him. Go get a tattoo by.
Yeah, come get a
cool shit
tattoo.
on you, some
I like
fur.
doing neo-traditional work and black and gray realism, like anything mostly with color and and like horror stuff, black and gray, like
horror,
all that.
Cool,
yeah. But
man, y'all go get a tattoo.
They check out my page. You'll see what I like to do.
Stop bullshitting.
Yeah.
Go get a tattoo. We love y'all. Appreciate it.